the young influence, adolescent presence, I'm succumbing to it. I've been giving yeses when I shouldn't do it. I complete ejected, but the moves elusive, and I'm barely moving, but I'm still gon' boost them. I can't work on winnings when I know you're losing, so I went to winning.
God damn, we back at it. Today we're gonna be talking about our honorable mentions of 2020. Yesterday, you seen, if you watched the video yesterday, I did the top 100 songs of 2020, and this video right here is going to be my honorable mentions. This is going to be the albums or the projects, EPs, LPs, whatever they want to call it, per se. These are going to be the projects I believe were pretty good, pretty solid, but they had a few listens to them, then they got old, or they were just overall pretty good, but it was released so early, or just had some couple mishaps that didn't allow them to be my top albums of the year. So these are my honorable mentions. First up, we got Lecrae, Kenny Beats Unlocked. This was released in February, I believe the first couple of days of February. I thoroughly enjoyed the project. It's Lecrae. He's established himself as almost a mainstream artist. Then you have Kenny Beats, who's been coming up on the last few years as an established producer who people have been enjoying much, and they came together for a project. And this project had a solid collection of, I believe it was like 7 songs all together. And Lecrae was spitting, the production of Kenny Beats supported it. And like, this is one of those projects where I'm just like, it's so micro, it's so miniature that like, after a while it can get old. That's kind of how they got it with me, that the project kind of got old, but overall it was pretty solid, pretty minuscule. Can't wait for the next Lecrae album, maybe coming out next year. We're gonna have to wait and see. Can't wait to see what Kenny Beats do on the production and other people, and just can't wait to see from both of them. But when it comes to Unlock, I thoroughly enjoyed it. Moving up next, we got Childish Gambino, the 3/15/20 album they surprisingly released, and people was excited like, oh, Childish Gambino, new album, you don't get these but so often. And man, the release of it was just so bad. It's like the tracks don't even have titles, like timestamps of when the tracks actually start. So that was bad overall. Not even being announced, it's just random overnight. It doesn't help it at all. But it was still a solid project. It just had some mishaps that was just wasn't good at all. Like some of my favorite tracks was Time for Ariana Grande, I believe 4236. There's another one that was released last year that I don't remember. That's this thing. The name of the titles of the songs is just timestamps, so you can't remember which exactly they are. But it was overall a solid project. Just the mishaps of the announcement and the tracks and title names is just all throwing it off. But I can't wait for it. Apparently he's supposed to release another album next year, a true album per se, and it seems like he says it's his best. He says he's giving his all on this one, so can't wait to see what he has with that one. Next up, we got Electronica and Jay-Z, The Written Testimony. The thing about this project is that if you take out Electronica, it's pretty much a miniature Jay-Z album, but that's neither here nor there. It was a solid project. I believe this is nominated, a Grammy nominated for Album of the Year, but I didn't really enjoy it. Yes, there was some tracks that was absolute bangers. One with Travis Scott. There was another track that had like the production was amazing. So like, even though some people like thoroughly enjoyed that project, that's why it's Grammy nominated. It was alright for me. I listened to the first couple of times, but it's just like overall, I don't know. The project wasn't feeling it for me, but it was always okay overall for me. Next up, we got Thundercat. It is what it is. Thundercat. This is my first introduction to Thundercat, and he got that unique sound, man. He got that funk, that soul, that little R&B sound, a little mixture in there. So he's a nice little indie artist that has a nice, unique sound. I just love him singing. One of my favorite tracks from that Dragon Ball Do-Rag. That track is so silly, but it still sounds so good at the same time. So it is what it is by Thundercat. Can't wait to see what next to do. Maybe next year, maybe in a couple of years. Who knows? Remains to see. But I thoroughly enjoy Thundercat. Next up, we got John Lindahl. If you don't know who John Lindahl is, John Lindahl is signed to Logic's Bobby Boy Records record label, and this is believe this is his first official album or second. It's one of the other two, but if you know who John Lindahl is, he's more of a pop artist, more of a singer artist. He gets comparisons to Justin Timberlake, a little bit of Michael Jackson. You know, he likes to dance and sing all over the place, so he's one of those type of artists, and I thoroughly enjoyed this project. Some of my favorite tracks was Famous. You know, we all want to be famous one day. Idols, which was the outro track, it was just paying homage to his idols, people that helped him be on the come to where he is today. And it was a nice little album, man. You know, nice little pop album, get you moving, get different sounds. He had different unique sounds, like I said, from pop. He had a little hip hop inspiration, a little R&B. So he had a mixture of a whole bunch of things in there. It was an overall little nice, simple album you want to just vibe out to for a little bit. So John Lindahl, opening night. Thoroughly enjoy that. Next up, we got Dvsn, Amusing His Feelings. We all know Dvsn, man. That man singing is just, whoo. That man singing is nice, simplistic, it's soothing. It calms you down, man. That's what the album just overall did for me. He got a lot of side tracks on there. He got Ty Dolla $ign, Chico Ty Dolla $ign, and it's just when we got the R&B singing and he just harmonizing and just hit you in the feels, man. It just definitely Dvsn and Muse in the feelings definitely did that for me. Next up, we got Flatbush Zombies, Now More Than Ever. This was released in May or June, early June, I believe. This is a nice little EP from the Flatbush Zombies. This is my second project I ever heard from them. No, it's a nice little, I believe it was like 5 tracks or so. It was nice and minuscule, nice and something to put out there for the masses, for their fans. And it was a nice little simple project. I believe my favorite song from there is Elevators. And we talk about the 13th floor, because the 13th floor is supposed to be, what's the word? Evil, not evil. What's the word? What's the word I'm looking for? Superstitious, yeah. 13th floor is superstitious. Is technically when we know it's a floor building might have more than 13 floors. 13th floor is always marked out superstitious. But I thoroughly enjoyed the project. Flatbush Zombies. I can't wait till their next full album release they do. Man, that rap group always does a solid job producing their projects, and Now More Than Ever is definitely one of them. Next up we got is Lupe Fiasco House. This is a nice little EP from Lupe Fiasco. You all know Lupe Fiasco is one of the greats, one of the legends out there, one of the best rappers of all time. He's definitely my top 10 best rappers of all time. This is a nice little EP, man. It had a variety of different topics. It was not a full-fledged studio album. It was nice, a little something, a little 5-pack. I believe it was 5 songs, a little 5 I had to give out there to the people and just have something for them to enjoy. Next up is Vic Mensa V-Tape. No, Vic Mensa is one of those artists been polarizing him out. The first album I listened to, the first project I listened to was 2017. I'm forgetting what the title was, but I thoroughly enjoyed that project. And then he started releasing some shenanigans. He got into different beefs, and he was one of those artists that just got a lot of conflicts. He was still releasing music, but got a lot of conflicts. He was telling people, was telling he was falling off. But the V-Tape overall, I thoroughly enjoyed that. He had a nice solid project, you know, just discussing about his life, the things that's happened, the things he's going through with legal troubles, things he's been discussing with his music and social media, etc., etc. So it was just overall solid project. There's a nice comeback in my terms for Vic Mensa, and the V-Tape, I thoroughly enjoyed it. Next up we got Big Sean, Detroit 2. This was released in September, I believe, and this was a nice little comeback. This is Big Sean's first album released in 3 years since I Decided, and it was just a nice little, man. Detroit, you know, the original Detroit released many years ago. It was a nice little, having a nice little duology come into play here. It was a nice little comeback for Big Sean per se, because people believe he was falling off. People thinking, oh, he's corny, he's losing it, yada yada yada, he should stop, etc., etc. So it was a nice little comeback album. He had a variety of mainstream artists on there, from pop, from Big Sean had a lot of mainstream artists from there. Of course, you got Jhené Aiko, Ty Dolla $ign, Post Malone, and a lot of variety of other artists. It was a nice little solid project. It was pretty long, you know, it had some skits and stuff, but it was overall solid project. But it just didn't like, it's something you might come back to every few months or so, but it was just overall nice and good. Nice little comeback for Big Sean. I'm glad that this was a good comeback for him, especially for him. He was going through it the last few years mentally, and he discussed that on the album. So I'm just happy Detroit 2 brought him to the right, proper place. Next up we got is Lecrae Restoration. This is my first project of Lecrae. I've listened to like some singles from Lecrae, but this is my first full-fledged project. I thoroughly enjoyed it, man. It's a nice little long project. He had some surprise features. I believe he had John Legend on the track. Let Me Down, I believe it was called, something like that. And like, how you get John Legend on the project? He's a small artist like he is. It's surprising to see that he had an artist like as big as John Legend on there. But they definitely did a solid project, did a solid time on that project. And Lecrae, man, I can't wait to see what he does in the future, whether it be next year or the year after. I can't wait for the next project he has in store. Next up is Dizzy Wright. Dizzy Wright released My Hustle Unmatched, I believe. Was it October, I believe, late October. He released this project. You know, Dizzy Wright, man, he's one of those artists that's just so small, and I don't understand why. He was on the cover of them with his freshman in 2013 with Logic, Absol, Trinidad James, was Travis Scott. I believe Travis Scott was on that. So he's only one of the best XXL cover freshman years ever. And like he has not significantly grown in the last few years. I don't understand. Maybe it's just from him being signed to Funk Volume and everything that happened with Hobson and how that all transpired. But his recognition just somehow doesn't dwell up, doesn't grow up as the years go along. But I thoroughly enjoyed this project. It's a nice little reminiscence for me because I've been listening to Dizzy Wright for coming up on 8 years now, and it's just one of those projects, one of those artists you hope and see that it continues to grow because they need more attention because they're a solid artist and they always bring more. So Dizzy Wright's My Hustle Unmatched, thoroughly enjoy that. Next up, we get Bryson Tiller's Anniversary. Now this project from Bryson Tiller is released on Anniversary. Trap Soul, that's what it is, Trap Soul. And like this was not his like formal attempt to bring back Trap Soul type vibes, but this is like him like, okay, y'all want more Trap Soul type vibes, here's a project, here's an album where it might have that sound for y'all. It might not be truly the same what I did in the past. It might bring some of those vibes back to them. That's exactly what it did for me. It wasn't everything I hoped it to be. That's why it's on my honorable mentions, not on my top albums, but it had some solid tracks. Out of Time featuring Drake, that was a banger. Absolute banger for them. I can't wait to see if they do more tracks overall in the future. But Bryson Tiller's Anniversary, thoroughly enjoyed it. Next up, we got Giveon, When It's All Said and Done. I believe this is released mid-October. Thoroughly enjoyed this. Giveon was first introduced in Drake's Dark Lane Demontates when he had that Chicago freestyle. His voice is very unique, deep. He's from LA, but it sounds like he got an accent. I don't know, it's just his voice is just that so unique that it sounds so different. It sounds so raw and unique, but he has a great voice, great singing voice. The project had like 4 songs on there, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I think I playlisted them all. Just nice vibes. The one track he had with Snow Allegra, I thoroughly enjoyed that project. Just can't wait to see him grow as an artist, grow bigger, maybe get a more marketing push in the years to come and get with more mainstream attention. But when it's all said and done, I thoroughly enjoyed it. Next up, we got Jordan Lucas Evolution. I believe this is not a project, it's a little EP they released this year, and I enjoyed this more than he did the project he released back in earlier March. Like that project was released so bad, just from like, it had like, how you want to release a project that was damn near already released? Like he had like 13 songs on there, but it had like 9-10 singles was already released. Like that's not gonna enjoy, but that's not how you release an album. And with Evolution, I believe he only released maybe 1 or 2 tracks as singles, and he came back with full force, man. Some of my favorite tracks is straight like that. That's the track with The Game. He has another track on there that's thoroughly enjoyed. So Jordan Lucas with the Evolution, this had a better release he did with his formal first studio album that he released earlier this year, and I just overall thoroughly enjoyed Evolution from Jordan Lucas. Next up, we got Busta Rhymes. I'm about to read this out because it's a long ass title. Extinction Level Event 2, The Wrath of God. When I first seen this, I'm like, do I really want to listen to a Busta Rhymes album in 2020? Listen to it, like, this is not too bad. Those Busta Rhymes, one of those legendary artists that you just like still making music out here, like Nas is, like Eminem are. They still, even though they've been around for a long ass time, they still got some things to say. And Busta Rhymes definitely brought a unique aspect because of his experience, because of his age. He brings a unique perspective to the world, from the rap game to society, etc., etc. So it was nice to see Busta Rhymes in this album come back and have a nice little solid project. Next up, we got Ty Dolla $ign featuring Ty Dolla $ign. This is when I first saw that title, I'm like, he's in the culture. He knows he's in the culture. You know, people always got Ty Dolla $ign as a feature artist, and it was just like, man, it just had a variety of art. It was like 25 songs, I believe, on there. It is very long, but since it's pretty much him having like the whole industry on it, has different sounds, of course, the little R&B, the vibes, the rapping, the bars. He had a variety of artists from Kid Cudi, Jhené Aiko, Big Sean, Post Malone. So he had a variety of artists on there that you just have a catalog of people say, hey, come jump on this, jump on this, jump on this, because it's be my project. Even though it's called My Project, the title is featuring Ty Dolla $ign. Next up, something unique, something you probably don't expect from me, with Machine Gun Kelly, Tickets to My Downfall. This was a very rock album from Machine Gun Kelly. You know, because he came up as a rapper, he slowly made a transition to doing a rock album. This is definitely one of those albums that was very unique for me, because I'm not, I occasionally listen to rock. Okay, maybe not occasionally, maybe dispersely, like maybe randomly. And this is definitely one of those projects that I just randomly listened to, because I heard it got good reviews from people who was enjoying it, and I'm like, oh, this is not too bad though. You know, rock is not per se my genre. I can enjoy music overall. I overall enjoy music. If it's good, I can enjoy it. And this was a solid project. Machine Gun Kelly. I can't wait to see if he continues the rock lane, or he tries to just do a mixture of rap and rock. And I just can't wait to see what Machine Gun Kelly does in the future. Next up, we got 2 Chainz, So Help Me God. 2 Chainz, again, one of those artists that's been around for so long, even though he's formerly in the past, he had a different name, but in the last for like a decade or so, he's been known as 2 Chainz. This is definitely one of those projects I thoroughly enjoy, man. It's a nice little, when you have experience like this, you bring a unique perspective. Like I said with Busta Rhymes, you bring a unique perspective. You've been around the rap game, the music world as long as they have. And it was just, bringing you unique experience. Brought on some artists like Rick Ross, Kanye West. So it just had a nice, unique sound, had a nice flow, nice bars. 2 Chainz, he loved to have a good time, so he had some trap songs on there. So Help Me God by 2 Chainz. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Alright, coming up to the bottom of the list of the last few projects here. Next up, we got is Russ Chomp. This was a 5-pack from Russ. It was a nice little closure for him. He had a successful 2020 with Shake the Snow Globe and the deluxe version that he released later on the year. And the Chomp EP, this is rapping Russ right here from the, was it Karat's Freestyle. We also got Momentum. Momentum had Black Thought and Benny the Butcher on there. He had Busta Rhymes on the project. He had a song that was produced by DJ Premiers. He had a Primo beat. He said he was excited. Like, the last thing my ego needs is rap on a Primo beat. So he had a good time. This is rapping Russ, not the harmonic, not the vocal inflection, not the oh, let me make a little pop single. This is rapping Russ, and I enjoy rapping Russ. We haven't got like a rapping Russ like this too often. And the Chomp EP was rapping Russ. Like, this is proving that he can spit. He's definitely one of those artists that can spit, have some bars, have some lyrics, but still also have a good time overall. So Chomp EP, thoroughly enjoy that from Russ. Next up, we got is Juicy J. The Hustle Continues. Juicy J, again, one of those artists that's been around for so long. The 3 6 Mafia crew. Hailing from Memphis, Tennessee, man, that goes way back, like 4 flats on the Cadillac, you know what I'm saying? And I thoroughly enjoy that, man. Juicy J, man, just one of those artists to have a good time. He got the unique sound, a unique perspective, and if you think about it, shit, this might as well be a Juicy J and Logic album. The thing about Logic was featured on damn near every track. Is every time he come on, what did Juicy say? He was like, shut the fuck up. So he had that litter about. Of course, Logic himself had 2 featured tracks on here in 1995 and Shorty Bad. So I thoroughly enjoyed this project with Juicy J, man. It's good to see Juicy J, man, every now and again pop up for the album, pop up for a feature verse, and it's just Juicy J, man. Can't go wrong with Juicy J every now and again. Next up, we got is Chris Pratt from The Heart Volume 2. This was released December, so this was released a couple weeks ago. Chris Patrick, the name popped up because of Shrek Rap on Twitter, and the whole hip hop Twitter community just constantly spamming this man's page and spamming this man's music. So like, fine, let me listen to this man's music. I'm like, oh, this is thoroughly enjoying it. He actually hailed from New Jersey. I gotta tweet that man, ask him which part of New Jersey. Probably Northern Jersey. Everybody live in Northern Jersey for some reason. Well, it's New York City right there. It makes sense. But we talk about the music from the heart, from the Volume 2. I thoroughly enjoy that project. You know, it's talk about a young college kid, man, trying to make it out here in a rap girl, trying to live their lives, trying to navigate society. We all try to navigate society. This is Chris Patrick's perspective, trying to navigate society, have a good time, and find his way through life, through college, through maybe making this rap thing his personal career, and just everything that goes on through his head. So I thoroughly enjoy this track from the underground artists. So you gotta have some underground artists. You gotta listen to the underground, see who's on the come up. And Chris Patrick is definitely one of those artists on the come up. Last up, we got Eminem, Music to Be Murdered By, the deluxe version, not the original version. The original version, they can throw that in the trash. But the deluxe version was actually pretty interesting. It's just Eminem having fun, having a good time. Of course, he's still gonna spit. Of course, he's still gonna have those bars. People having people thinking, oh, he should retire. Oh, he's bitter. Yada yada yada. We had this redirect the last few years, but no, Eminem having a good time. He had a good time. They had the Nat track. I enjoyed. He was talking about pretty much coronavirus the entire track. Book of Rhymes. He was spitting, featuring DJ Premier on the ones and twos. That was a solid track. And overall, I thoroughly enjoyed the deluxe version. Even though it's like long, plus the original, the deluxe had 16 songs on it. I enjoyed pretty much half of them. You know, Eminem, even though he's been around for a long time, he's still able to make some good tracks, good music. He just need to find his pocket, which works for the perceivable future. And I know we can always have some Eminem, man. We always gonna have some fast bars, some fast raps, some lyricism, and Eminem always brings that. So Music Murder by deluxe version, I thoroughly enjoyed it. So those are my honorable mentions of 2020. I can tell by the timer here, this is already a long video. I try to get this as much as possible, but I'm trying to bring as much information that I have about the project. So that's why it ended up being, what is this, 22 minutes recorded right now. It's probably gonna be 18, 19, but I keep talking, so it's gonna get even longer. So I hope you enjoyed my honorable mentions. Maybe list down below. A list down below in the description is gonna be the full list, just in case you need a recap. And then list down below in the comment section what is your honorable mentions of 2020. The next video coming up tomorrow is gonna be the top albums for me and the top albums of 2020. And we're gonna have a good time with that one. That one's gonna be probably as long, maybe not longer than this one. These were my honorable mentions though. Tell me what your honorable mentions though in the comment section below. So if you like the video, please like the video. I got more content like this always coming soon, so please subscribe. And see you next video. Peace.